Well, this is John Black, Super Chemist. Now, I've put up a video called Abduction of JBSC, and that is a novel or novella that I'm writing. And I started it thinking if the channel takes off, I can self-publish my book and try to sell it on the channel. So I put up a chapter, or part of the first chapter, but it's very long, so I don't know if I'm going to. I mean, the channel is not going. I don't think it's going to make it, so I'm probably not going to self-publish. So I might just read the book out loud online and give it away for free. I don't know. It's a long book. You know what I mean? This story here, Corruption with JBSC, it is a lot shorter. This is a fiction, so don't think it's true. This is back in the 1990s, the early 90s. There was a big, I don't even remember exactly, but give or take 10 years back in the early 90s, there was a big drought, and I mean a big drought for pot. Nobody had it, okay? Now, I live up north, and I was going down south, so I drove all the way down to the border, where it's easy to get pot, any kind of drugs, really. And to my dismay, guess what I found? The drought actually, I couldn't believe it, the drought actually was down there too. I mean, people right on the border didn't have any pot. So instead of, I usually got my few pounds of weed once a month down there and came back. That was my only income, so obviously I had to buy something, right? So I bought a quarter pound of Coke. I don't really do Coke at the time. I've never done it, but it was like, I'll just get a little bit just to get me by or whatever till next month, and the drought will be over. So I'm driving back up with my stuff. It was only a QP, so I could easily put it in something small. It wasn't like pot where it takes up a lot of room. And I had it in a potato chip dip package. If you've ever bought potato chip dip, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's a round container that you can, and I emptied all the dip out, cleaned it out, and I filled it with rice to keep the cocaine, nice and dry. Put the lid back on, and then I had on the hump, if you're sitting in my car, how in between the passenger and the driver, sometimes there's a big hump there. I had a thing on there that was made to sit on that hump, and then you could hold your drinks, and it also had a thing that flipped up, and you could put stuff in the container, and close the lid. That's where I put it. You'd lift up the lid, I put the dip container in there, and I closed the lid. So I have my cocaine, a quarter pound. I have 2 guns. I can't remember what kind. It was either a Beretta or a Raven. I'd carry as a regular gun, and then I had a 5-shot Dillinger, or a 5-shot something. I can't remember what it was. In my boot, or in my shoe. And I'm driving from south to north. Now, if you know about the drug trade or drug trafficking, you'll know that there's like an X over the United States. And that X is highways. It goes from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast, okay? And all the drug people take, it's the easiest route, you know what I mean? You want to take the highways all the way to the whatever, you know what I mean? And then there's also a plus sign and a square that goes around the United States, but we're not going to talk about that. So I'm taking the X, one of those X routes, and right where the X's combine, boom, that's where all the traffickers. Now you're crisscrossing from everywhere. And this particular place was Oklahoma. So I'm driving through Oklahoma. I think it was Oklahoma. Anyways, let's call it Oklahoma. I'm at a rest stop, right? Taking a little break, and in comes another car. And, I'm sitting in my car and they get out and they come over to my car. I'm starting to get paranoid now. I'm thinking, is someone going to jack me for my drugs or whatever? Someone came up south with me. And so I'm getting my gun out, cocking it, getting ready to go, you know what I mean? And they just tapped on the window. I'm like, what do you want, man? And he goes, oh, it looks like you're going the same direction as us because of the plates you have. Do you think that, we can drive together? And then if one of us breaks down, the other one can help. You know what I mean? We can, this was before cell phones. So I was like, of course, yeah, that sounds good. So we're driving. So now we kind of look like a convoy. I mean, there's only two of us, but we both have plates that are not good plates for this area. He had a California plate. I don't want to say what plate I had, but we did look somewhat suspicious moving back and forth between each other. But I don't think this is why I got pulled over. Let me tell you this. I get pulled over. I'm going the speed limit, so I know I'm not getting pulled over for the speed limit. And he pulls me out. It's a military guy. It's a police officer. But later on in the story, I had him checked out, and I found out he was in the Marines. And he acted like that type of person, you know what I mean? Big guy, real big guy, 6'6", built. And he had that attitude of, I'm scum and he's great in America. I'm like the scum of America. Like, I'm terrible. So he asks me several times if he could search my car. Several times I tell him no until I get tired of it because I don't really take crap from cops. I mean, I'll take it to a point. I'm always polite, but don't ask me something several times, dude, if I answered you already. So after the, second or third, well, probably about the third time is usually when I get tired of answering the same question. I said, look, dude, you want to go in my car, I'm never going to give you permission. You're going to have to take your hands, put them in my pocket, get the keys out, and open it yourself. I will not even hand you the keys, and I don't give you permission. I told you that 3 times. So, of course, he just takes the keys. So he takes the keys out of my pocket. He unlocks the trunk, starts looking through it. He doesn't find anything. So he tells me to stand over by his car, like on the grass part, not the highway part, and wait while he searches. He goes to the passenger side on the grass part, not the highway part. He's opening up the door, and I remember the cocaine is in a small, well, not small, regular size dip container inside my tray that's on the hump of the car in between the passenger and the driver's side. And he finds that pretty fast. And I can see him. He sets it aside, starts looking. This looking process probably takes some total about 5 minutes. Of course, to me, it feels like, an hour. And several times he moves the dip container back and forth, like out of his way, so that he can search my car. And I still have my guns. So the guy, I'm sitting there thinking, this guy he isn't going to stop until he finds something. This is an obvious shakedown here. So I'm thinking I have 2 guns. I can walk up and shoot because he hasn't even watching me. He's not even looking at me. The only thing he cares about is finding something in my car. So I'm thinking I can easily walk up behind this guy and shoot him in the back of the head. Even if he has cameras in the car and I get caught dead to left to right, shooting him in the head. It's less time actually than, transporting a tiny handful of fucking cocaine across state lines. It's actually a lot less time. I would actually be out pretty quick for murdering a cop. Maybe because it's a cop I'd get extra, but yet murdering a cop is nothing in time that you're going to do than transporting the smallest of cocaine. So I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, well, I mean, I have a 100% chance of getting caught here, even if there is no camera on the thing. I'm sure he called in my plates. You know what I mean? I'm going to get caught. Definitely, I shoot him. It's a 100% chance I'll be convicted. I won't have any loopholes to jump out of. This is the cocaine. If he finds the guns, well, you know, I have a possibility, a good possibility of going to prison. But I do have a chance of getting out on a loophole. So anyways, I decided not to shoot him in the back of the head. I decided to just take my lumps, you know. Eventually, after moving this potato chip container back and forth about 3 or 4 times, I don't know why I never thought, well, wow, potato chip dip, that needs to be in the refrigerator. You know, you can't have it out in the hot sun or whatever, or in a hot car. But he never thought of that, I guess. So he got tired of looking and couldn't find anything. So he finally opens up the dip container and he's like, oh, I got you. He's laughing, he's smiling. Oh, and then he puts me in cuffs. Oh, he's laughing. Now he's found the guns. He's laughing like crazy, right? He got me. So he takes me to, well, actually, I believe they had the DEA come down and talk to me. They wanted to get me to see if they could get me to narc on anybody. And, you know, obviously I'm not going to narc on anybody. You know what I mean? If you do something, do your own time if you get caught. Jesus Christ, don't be a pussy fucking bitch. So anyways, after about 5 minutes with him, you know, because I get tired of telling people that, you know, because it's against the law. Once I say I want an attorney, it's against the law for a police officer or any law enforcement agency to keep asking me questions. It's literally against the law, okay? So when I tell them that, I say, you know, I'm always polite. I'm like, look, dude, I understand it's your job, but I'm not answering no more questions. You know what I mean? That's it. Then they kept going on. I was like, why are you breaking the law? Why are you being a criminal? That's what I always ask a cop. When they break the law, after I tell them I'm not talking, I'm done talking, you know what I mean? I told you whatever, that's it. I always ask, why are you breaking the law? You look at me like I'm a piece of garbage for breaking the law, but here you are breaking the law. That usually shuts them up right then and there. So the DEA leaves. This Oklahoma Highway Patrol, or whatever they call them down there, state police or whatever, takes me to the county jail. I'm in the city jail, which is a little tiny jail. There's like 2 blocks, actually 3 blocks. One block, the 2 blocks have like enough room to have maybe 12 people each, and the 3rd block had maybe enough to have, they were single cells, but they were lined up all in a row, I guess for women, and also for, you know, if someone got out of hand, I guess they can put them in the single cells. So anyways, I'm in the 1 cell. I'm in the 1 block. I'm going to say B block, but one of the bigger of the 3 blocks, which was tiny as heck. I mean, there was no TV. You know, sometimes they'd put the radio on for us. It was tiny as heck. So I'm in there. I'm scared. I'm whatever. I'm like, oh man, this sucks. You know, I'm going to do a lot of time here. And basically the first day I'm going to go to sleep the whole day. So the next day I get up. Here comes the papers. The papers telling me what I got arrested for. Now keep in mind I had a 1/4 pound of cocaine and I had 2 guns. The arrest sheet says I had 1 gun and 1 ounce of cocaine. They actually said I had 29 grams. And the reason why they did that was because anything over an ounce or 28 grams in that state is automatic transporting. It's automatic intent to deliver, meaning you're selling it. The guns, you know, he took all my, he stole just enough stuff to leave me with the same charges, whoever it was, right? So I still have the gun charge, which at that time was my 2nd gun charge, so it was a felony. I still got the don't miss part 2.